So in this video we're going to look at solving equations involving radicals. You can solve equations that involve radicals much like you do any other equation. In general, it's basically a three-step process. You start by isolating the radical on one side of the equation. Then you raise both sides of the equation to the index number, so that's the little number above the check mark on the radical. And then the final steps are just to proceed and solve an equation just like you normally would. So again, the easiest way to learn how to do one of these is just to see an example. So let's say we have this one. Let's solve 3 fourth root of x plus 6 minus 15 equals 0. So notice that that minus 15 is not under the radical. And the index number that I spoke about earlier is the little 4 there. So you just isolate the radical just like you would if it was just a big X sitting there. So if you had to solve this problem, 3x minus 15, the first thing you would do would be to add 15 to both sides. We're going to do the same thing in this problem. So end up with 3 fourth root of x plus 6 is equal to 15. So over here, looking at our simpler problem, so again, this is just to help us do this problem. It's not part of the problem. I'll be left with 3x equals 15. To solve for x in this problem, I would divide both sides by 3, and that's exactly the same thing I'm going to do here. Divide by 3. And then I end up with the fourth root of x plus 6 equals 5. Now here's where this problem differs a little bit from this little side problem over here, is now I have this fourth root that I have to deal with. So as I said before, once you isolate the radical, all you have to do is raise both sides of the equation to that index number. So I'm going to do fourth power, fourth power. The reason why I do that is because the index, or if you raise a radical to its index number, it will cancel out the radical and just leave you with a radicand. So that would be an x plus 6 that's left over on the left, and then 5 to the fourth is 625. And now I'll just have an easy problem to solve. I subtract 6 from both sides. I end up with x equals 619. And again, as always, you can go back in and check that solution with a calculator. If you had 3, and then the roots are actually, I believe, under math. Number 5 is how you do a root. So I think that would be a 4 math 5. And then I want to do 619 plus 6 under there. Close off the radical and then subtract 15. Hopefully I get 0. And I do. So I know that this is correct.